Hello? Okay. I'm late and all of my stuff was broken, but it should be fixed now. Hello. Welcome. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. Welcome to a show where we're going to be working on this, which is a travel log, a full stack travel log. Essentially, it's an app that has a map on it. You can add all of the places that you have visited to the map, and that's it. That's the app. So today we're going to add the ability to edit. So right now you can add new things, and you can click on existing ones. But what we want to do is on the existing ones there needs to be a button to edit, so that way we can update the title or the description or even the date. And then there's also a couple of bugs that we need to fix as well. So welcome in, everyone. Glad to see you. Also, my camera looks a little bit different than usual. I was trying to adjust all of my settings this morning. Yeah, there's a couple of PRs I need to merge on GitHub. Yeah, and I would suggest not trying to catch up on all of the past episodes. You absolutely could. I think there's different things to be gained from catching up on past episodes, because all of the streams are here on this YouTube playlist. But as you can see, it is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, over 19 hours of video. And my plan is, once I'm done building this whole thing, I'm going to make a proper tutorial that's probably no longer than 3 hours. No longer than 3 hours, that covers building all of this. This is just us figuring out stuff and learning stuff, and then also like working through some various things. So I would say you could watch these videos really if you want to get a sense for how I learn and how I solve problems and how I work through certain issues. But it's definitely not a follow it from the beginning to end to build a specific thing, because you could build this thing that we're building much quicker. It's just taken some time. But welcome in, everybody. Glad to see you. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. And there's a couple of bugs that we will fix also. So there's a pull request from Brivlio that fixes some dates on here. Because right now when you click to see the date, I believe it shows the UTC date instead of showing the date in your time zone. Oh, good to know, Gonsi. Yeah, so I guess that's another thing that we'll potentially need to do before we move any further, is update to latest changes in Next.js 13. So the nature of using something that is not stable yet, things have been changing as we've been building and learning. And so what Gonsi is saying is that we actually don't need a pages folder anymore. We can actually put the API folder at the root. Maybe we'll have to look at the Next.js 13 docs to see how they handle that. So we'll update our code. We'll change how we do things before we add new features. That's been another reason why this has taken so long. Is like learning about Next.js 13, and then we spent a couple of hours just like upgrading and making sure we're on the latest stuff as well. Cool. Before we jump into it, let's say hi to everybody. We'll welcome everyone in. What did you try to do, Crypod? I don't know why that didn't work. That should have worked. Is FrankerFaceZ using a new CDN possibly? Oh, everything's broken. Everything's broken. Okay, so FrankerFaceZ did change. Wait. I was just thinking, it's like, are all of the old chat messages going to be broken now? I guess not. I don't know. We'll fix that later. What happened that I shortened the API key? What do you mean by that? You mean for this app? Yeah, so like we've actually locked this down. This is just the API key for the local app, and the only way it's locked down is by API key. There's no login or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a quick 10-second stretch. Then we'll say hi to everybody. Do I look okay on camera? Like, are you going to be okay with looking at me for the next 3 hours with the way? Because I look different than usual. I think I think maybe my white balance is off. Also, this monitor looks different than this monitor. I look handsome? Oh, thank you, part-timer. This guy says I look fabulous. All right. Um, as long as I look acceptable, I'll go with it. But I definitely look different than usual. Just all of I reran some wires, so all of my cameras got unplugged, and I had to replug them in, and then all of the camera settings got reset. And potentially they got plugged into a different USB port, which also caused that to happen. So I had to readjust all my camera settings, all my audio settings, everything. Okay, well, everyone seems happy with it, so we'll keep going. My cheeks look red. I think that's because they are. I don't know. Let's say hi to everybody. If you want me to say hi to you, here's what you can do. I have the thing for you. You can say hi, hello, hello, hey, yo, cheers, greetings, hiya, sup, what's up, morning, afternoon, evening, howdy, good day, coding hiyo, vohayo, or boga hey. Say any one of these things. I will notice you. I'll say hi right back. And then we'll get into it. We're gonna go back in time to America 2050, who was here an hour ago, who says, hi, CJ in chat. What's up, America 2050? And hello, Eddie. What's up, Sequel Gordster and Origin and Shirkum and Consipan Pozo? Glad to see you. What's up, Pob Plip and Nieber and Jurgo Toff and Particle and RT Studios. And what's up, Andreas? Happy Tuesday to you. What's up, Rainy J and the Sheboss and Mark, Twisted Seed and Harsh and Vittorio and Vizzolino and Brilvia. What's up, Freak Zombie and Bob? And hello, user over on YouTube. On YouTube, you can set your handle. If you look at this help guide, so you can see how other YouTube users have their handles set like this. On YouTube, if you go there, you can set your handle so it doesn't show up as like user. Set your handle here. Can I pin this? I can pin that. Cool. Yeah, so, but yeah, they have a question. I need some help with TypeScript. I'm working on a deep copy util without any library. What is working? I want to make it type safe. I won't talk about this now because it's pretty off topic. But if you want to open a thread in the Discord, people might add some comments on it. But yeah, deep copying with type safety and like returning. I guess you would return the unioned type of your deep copy. I guess I don't know. What's up, David? And hello, Dizzy Web Service and Spark Windrow and Shalman and Brett Winda and Almasil and Raikun and Daddy Ray and Part-Time Married. What's up, Kareen and Nick Tyndall and Dev Henrique and Magic and Calvaria and Bino Dev and Hamza. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Harsh says, how do you concentrate for a long period of time and enjoy the work we're doing? You take breaks. So even though you said long period of time, you still need to take breaks. Like, I haven't been a good example of someone that works for a long time and takes breaks. But you should take breaks because that's going to allow you to go for longer. Even like a 5-minute break can refresh your mind, can help you potentially subconsciously solve problems while you're away from concentrating. So my advice is to try to concentrate for like at most an hour, take a quick break, and then get back into it. Don't do multi-hour sessions. That's my advice. And then enjoy doing it. That's a tricky part. That's like the question of life. Like, how do we enjoy anything? And yeah, I don't know. I guess I appear happy. I'm a generally happy person. I think I try not to let things. I try not to dwell on things, right? Because things will make me sad or angry or frustrated. But I do my best to not sit in that feeling for too long, right? It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel mad or whatever else. But you need to realize that you are not those feelings, and then you just take a step back, and then you can continue living your life. I think that's probably my main it's mainly how I do it. Yeah, don't dwell in those feelings. You can have the feelings, but don't dwell in the feelings. And then for me, that's my natural state of being is a bit more positive and happy. But I think that's really just a product of, I think, how I was raised and stuff like that. I know not everyone has that same default, and I don't know if people can work to make that a default. I don't know. I try my best. I think that's the thing. Where to study Node? Like, are you looking for resources on Node.js? I don't have any specific links for you. I would say any decent YouTube channel with a good amount of views probably has good stuff on Node.js. Yeah, yeah, and I appreciate that harsh. I think yeah, I think that's probably the best advice I can give right now in terms of it's just uh don't dwell on things, try your best, and also like stay persistent. I think that's the other thing is a lot of people get defeated when they get frustrated or when they get mad, but if you notice when you watch me, I might get frustrated or mad, but I power through it. I keep going. I keep my eye on the prize. So maybe that will help as well. And hey, J Philly Web, welcome in. Yeah, YouTube chat has all the commands now. Thoughts on Pocket Base? Seems cool. Seems cool. And what's up, Jerry? Yeah. Yeah, J Philly says I'm naturally happy to be. Yeah, and I realize not everyone is like that, and I guess it is interesting to see because I know other people that are like that, like I am. We're just naturally happy. Music can easily change my mood. Interesting. I am not that way. Honestly, I can listen to music without listening to music. And I think that's the other thing is like not even music. There can be sounds or things happening around me, and I can basically act like those things aren't actually happening. Which is weird when it comes to listening to music because I'm actually really bad at like getting what this if music has lyrics in it. I'm really bad at like trying in real time understanding what the singer is singing about. I just hear even the vocals sound like music to me. I have to really focus. I don't know. What's up, Cougar Griff? I'm about to write some code, but welcome in everyone. This is Philosophy Garden. We're talking about how to be happy and all that stuff. But let's write some. Now listen to the vibe, yeah. But let's write some code. How do you use Control C and Control V being a lefty with the mouse? Oh, I take my hand off the mouse. I think. I mean, watch. Let me remove the blur on this really quick. Okay, so let's say I want to copy this. I triple click, Command C. So yeah, I just take my hands off the keyboard. I see what you're saying though, because if you're using it right-handed, you can Control C without taking your hand off the keyboard. I guess I'm not a true left-handed person though. I only use a left-handed mouse to like prevent strains on my wrist. I could probably get used to using my right hand for like Command C and Command V or Control C, Control V. But yeah, I take my hands off the keyboard. Cool. Listen to the rhythm of your feet. Exactly. All right, let's merge some pull requests. So, Brilvio added a PR, and thank you for that hydrate, Oscar. Cheers, everyone. Let's write some code. Let's get into it. So I mentioned there's a bug right now. So let's add a new thing to the travel log. I'm actually going to add Amsterdam because I'm going to JS Nation. So the title here is JS Nation, cool JS conference. I'll be there. Throw an image in, you give it a rating, but we're going to visit it in the future because JS Nation is happening June 1st, 2023. June 1st. June 1st. But I believe what happens is whenever I put this into the database, it gets displayed here, but it shows as May 31st. Because I believe it's showing the UTC date instead of the date in my time zone. Or no, it's showing my time. No, it's showing my time zone instead of the UTC date. And Brilvio made, yeah, and thanks for that link, Mark. Check out JS Nation for sure. Brilvio made a pull request that displays it using UTC because when we put it into the database, it's UTC time, June 1st UTC. And so when we show it on the page, we want to show it as UTC as well. So it's a simple little PR, but it just makes sure that when we display the dates, it actually shows UTC. Didn't we just take a 10-second break? I should take all my breaks, though. I mentioned it earlier. I want to set a good example. Every time my break timer pops up, I need to take that break. And here's more info on my all the breaks. More info on my break timers. Nice. My bot on YouTube is still working. Cool. So I'm going to merge this in. Thank you, Brilvio, for making this PR. We will squash it, merge it. And then if I pull that code down locally, should fix it. If I refresh the page. Oh, we hydrated. You're right. You're totally right. Nice. So it shows the actual date that I set on the calendar. Thank you, Brilvio, for that PR. And PR is short for pull request. All right. So Mr. Mike made this PR, and I didn't even know what they were fixing, but zoom way out on the current map and click either way, east or west. Notice the coordinates, especially the latitude. Also drag the added marker while zoomed out from one end of the map to the other. All right, we're going to zoom way out. I mean, I don't know what's wrong. Okay. Wrap the coordinates to be always within the allowed range. My garden is covering. All right, so like if we do that, 42, negative 459. And if we do that, oh, yeah, okay. So I see what you're saying. Like because the world wraps around, the library isn't handling these. Yeah, negative 572 is not a valid longitude. Okay, so that's what you're fixing. That makes sense. So how did you fix it? You did dot wrap. So this is built into leaflet latitude longitude objects. And Hector, thank you for the bits. Oh, I forgot to thank all the supports. And thank you for the bits, Hector. Because the Earth is round. Yes, we got to wrap it around. Acid Spark, thank you for the 35 months. I saw your message in Discord too. I'll have to debug it later. And the She-Boss, thank you for the gift. Kuzi, thank you for the 28 months. Toasted Cheeses with the 26 month. Always Ed, you're new here. Thank you for the Prime. David with the 300 bits, and Hector with the 100 bits, and Part-Time Married with the 5-month resub. Thank you all for the supports. But yeah, so this wrap function is built into Leaflet, and that basically will make it so that instead of showing negative 305, it'll show the accurate one. Is it though? Here, listen. For the purposes of the math required for this map, the Earth is round. And that's all we're going to talk about for right now. so thanks for that fix. Let's pull it down. And now, if we click on the map, we click over here. Nice. Okay, so it's an interesting behavior because if I click over here, it basically, by wrapping it around, it goes to the current location. Yeah, I know, Shulman, I know, but there are some people watching that might not be joking. So yeah, that is interesting. I guess the other thing is if we, you only get this behavior if you're literally wrapping around the world like this. But who's gonna do that? I don't know. But thank you for that fix, Mr. American Mike. All right. That cursor pointer behavior we'll handle later. Let's look at the latest. First of all, let's update all of our dependencies, and then we'll look at the things that have changed in Next.js 13 beta. So, we are using Node version 18. I like to use this tool called npm upgrade. It takes a look at my package.json. And it tells me all of the things that have changed. So you can see we have some type updates. Daisy UI has a patch update, and then Next has a patch update. And some other things. So I'm going to update all of these to their latest, and then install those dependencies. About the negative, no, you wouldn't use absolute value because negative 500 and something is not a valid longitude. I think the furthest longitude it goes is negative 180. npm check updates. Is that a separate package? Cool. I mean, it looks like it's doing like the same thing that the one I use is doing. Um, wonder what this one does differently. But I'm not going to worry about it because we're already done. We've already upgraded. Easy. So now, oh, you limit the zoom level. That makes sense, Freak Zombie. I think it really depends on what kind of behavior you want to have, because you could limit the zoom level to like here, so that way you don't ever see like multiple United States is United States. How do you pluralize? It's United States. United States is. Okay. Let's look at the Next.js 13 website to see. I believe they'll have a. It's already Perl United States, but what I'm talking about, two United States. United States is multiple North Americas. That's a better way to say it. All right. If we check out the blog, I wonder if they've detailed what has changed. Yeah, Next.js 13.2. Let's see what has changed in Next.js 13.2. Did we already make this update? Yeah, because we already changed our metadata stuff. Route handlers, I guess, is what we haven't upgraded to, which exist in the Pages API directory. We wanted to make this opportunity to create a new, more modern version of API routes that were deeply integrated into the new routing system for the app. Route handlers allow it to create custom request handlers. Default Gian, thank you for the resub. Okay. Now, this I like to see. We were talking about this before. The fact that on our API handler, with the old way of Next.js, we literally have a switch case to determine if it's a post request or a GET request. I don't like this. I like my functions to be separated out. I know I could separate them out myself, but the fact that there was no built-in way of handling this was really lame. It looks like in Next.js 13, they have that. So you export a function of that given type, and then you're good to go. So, what do we do? What do we do? We just have a file with the right name? Learn more about route handlers. Route handlers are defined in a route.js or ts inside the app directory. Oh, are you telling me I can't have... Okay, this line of code told me that it needed to be a file called route. But that means I guess I can just have a nested folder. Let's try it. Yeah, so we just need a nested folder. So really, I'm just going to drag the API folder into app. And so now this will be API. And then what I need is a folder called logs. What is happening? Inside API, I need a folder called logs. And then this will need to be called route.ts. Great. Now that we have that, I need to export several different functions. I need a get function and a post function. So export async function get request is type request. Where do I import it from? Is it just available to me? Stretch. Control insert and shift insert is weird. I literally just use my left hand for my mouse. I don't use it for I take my hand off the mouse to do the things. It's the same import, but they're just calling it request. Yes, here's the thing. I think they're doing the web standard thing. Right? It's like the actual request object. Can extend the web response by returning a next response object. Are we doing that? No, we're just doing res.json. I think we're gonna have to rewrite this entire thing. Let me go back to the way the code was, and then I'm gonna write a separate function and pull the code in one by one. So we export a get function. We need access to the request. We need access to the response. We'll create a branch for what we're working on right now. And res.json, an empty array. Expected 0 arguments but got 1. Is response generic? What is response.json? Oh no, that's the body. No, in order to, I would have to do capital R response. Basically, if I'm doing it with like the plain old capital R response object, then I need to do this, and I need to set the body, and I need to manually stringify it. Yeah, but I would need to manually stringify it here. I'm pretty sure. Let's just test it really quick. It's basically like we're in Dino now, but not really. I mean, I say that because Dino like they're using web standards, which is what Next.js is trying to do now. And so body, well, then you don't even have a body. You specify. Okay, watch this. If I attempt to do this, res is never used. You're right. Yeah, it needs to be a body init. So yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is now we actually have to we have to stringify the body, and then in the headers we need to set the content type. I don't think this one has that built-in JSON object, but it did say we can return a Next API response. So let's just see if this works. And then if it works, we'll try to make it better, because I will throw this entire project in the trash can right now if I have to manually stringify every single response body. I just won't do it. You can't make me. So here's what we've done. We've defined a get response on for add a helper. No. No, I'm not gonna write. Why would I write my own wrapper? The library should do it for me, but this is just a test. So now we have an API route that returns an empty array. I shouldn't have to change anything else. Well, okay, I'll try response.json in just a second. Okay, so is the app running? Let's start it up. And then we should be able to go to API logs like that. and we got back an empty array. Awesome. Now, yeah, it doesn't say there's a built-in JSON thing. But let's try it. Oh, and it wouldn't be new response. It would just be response.json. That seems to work. Did that not break? Yeah, but the type doesn't exist, which means I need to import response from somewhere. Yeah, so response.json, just like that. Native TypeScript types currently throw an error. You can use next response.json for typed responses. Great, that's what I want, because this is like, hey, that doesn't exist. Next response. And then where are we pulling next response in from? Next server. Okay. Why is this complaining? Prefer default export. Okay. Good to go. So we have a nice little helper. We can do a .json on it. But I guess that what that also means is if I'm getting access to if I want to type the response, so request is type next request, and then res is type next response. Can I type it like I did here? Because that should restrict me from returning specific types. Res is defined, but next response is not generic. Yeah, I mean, this would be request. And I guess this would be response. Well, I don't think you can do that, American 2050, because it's a static method. It's not an instance method. You see how we're doing capital N next response? You know? So yeah, next response is not generic. I want TypeScript help right here. Like I want TypeScript to tell me that this is not a valid response for me to do .json with. So what does this return? I mean, it returns a next response, but next response isn't generic. How can I? Yeah, the body is any. You return your own response, right? But if I want to do .json, then I can't do that. So, if I want to type it, then I can create my own response. Yeah. Let me show you what I'm trying to replicate, Gonsi, because right now, from what I can see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So, with the API handlers, we're using Next API response, and I'm using the generics here to tell it that these are the 3 possible types of responses that this handler will return. These 3 types. And that means if I do res.json with anything that is not one of those types, I'll get a TypeScript error because it's like, hey, it doesn't adhere to one of those 3 types. So on the surface, it looks like I can't do that with generics, but I possibly could create different objects to respond with, and then I could manually define the return type or something like that. But this is basically what I want. Is I want TypeScript help in my res.json, because like when I pass stuff in here, I want TypeScript to say, hey, that's not the right type if it's not the right type. Let's dig deeper. And then was I looking at static route handlers? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, both of these examples, they technically say they're using TypeScript, but they haven't narrowed the possible return type or the possible type of response. Let's see, Spark. Thank you all for doing the research for me, because I just sit here and I complain, and you all find the issues. Checking the body should live outside the type of Next.js. Okay. Yeah, so like you give it a generic type. This is really all I want, is I want to be able to type that body object right there. Oh, they updated the type manually. Enable type checking on response body. Yeah, they literally just added that type. Adding satisfies? No, I think basically what we would need to do is we override the type in our own types file. I don't want to do that. In the interest of keeping type safety, I might just keep it in the API folder. I really don't want to override the type. Are we going to override the type? Well, it's not. I wouldn't call it TypeScript hell. I would call it Next.js is still in beta. So like, they haven't implemented this yet, but it sounds like they're going to add this to the actual Next.js code base, and then I wouldn't have to add this type. Let's show you how you would do this. So first of all, we can find what module is next response inside of. I think it's global. It's global. So yeah, appreciate that, Gonzi. Yeah, but I think I found it. AssetSpark found this issue, and I think it's exactly what we want. So basically, the next response type needs to have a generic for the body property. And we get that. We should be able to get that working locally if we just redeclare the type. So here, if I do this, so we need to take a break. We've been at it for an hour. So I don't know if this was inside of a module, but how would I override the type? Unless they did it here. Oh no, they have a literal patch. Like they're patching the internal library. I don't want to do that. I just want to redeclare the type as the imported type. Oh, honestly, I guess I just import this type, because we're literally just extending from the built-in response type. So we just literally call it types. Let's see. Um, yeah, I like that idea. But so this is weird though. If I remove the dot D or the dot definition, all of a sudden it doesn't know where to find like response cookies. Response cookies is defined in edge runtime cookies. Um, can I do something like uh, this? If I do declare module and then inside of that we have a class that is now generic. Is this the one? Yes. Yes. Because now when I do this, um, static.json, um, res is defined but never used. Um, I think I actually need to do this. I need to set the return type. Is it a promise? Next response of T. But then that, I mean, here's the thing. If I wrap this in the promise, oh, it is happy with that. No, but it's not. This should. Oh no, it has a message. Okay, perfect. It's not working. Um, if we say dot JSON with that type T, um, parameter needs to be used in the base class in order for it to run type checking. Yeah, it's setting the type here. So next response of T. So when we do next response, um, JSON, it should be setting that type. And see, that takes us here. We're setting it here. So the idea with generics is you pass the generic in here. So that's B. Oh, you're totally right. It's T. I need to pass it in. Oof. Oof. Okay. Yeah, I would have to do this. Um, Now it complains. Message does not exist in type. Oh, I get rid of next response. It's literally just this type. Yeah, without it. But here's the issue. So this is good. Now we get type checking. But um I need I guess I need it in both places. So something like get response type. Um and then when I res.json it, I get that. Great. But I don't want to have to put it right here. Um so if I do returns a next response of type T, I want that type to flow through to here to this.json, and it doesn't. Use the generic B instead of T. Does that make sense, though? Like, make that not generic, and then like that. Um, Defaults to any? Oh, but then I have to do um, why is this complaining? An instantiation expression cannot be followed by property access. Mm, then I'd have to do something like next response as that. I don't want to do this. I really don't want to. Here's the thing. So for those of you watching that know a lot about TypeScript, you could probably figure it out. You're probably yelling at the screen right now of how I should do this. I don't want to do this. I really don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this back into the pages folder, and we'll put it to do. So whenever they merge those types in, we'll try our best to use them. Um, it is not my job to fix the types of a library that's in beta right now. So we're gonna go back to this, and now it gives me the stuff from my database. It's fine. That's fine. So we're not going to use route handlers just because we don't get the same type checking that we get with these API requests and API response. So I want this. It does look like there's an open issue though. So am I missing messages? Like I said, looks like there's an open issue, so they potentially will merge this in or fix it at some point. Though I'm the one oh it did. I think it was just really quick. It just like passed by. Because I saw somebody mention that the types are like way easier to define in like Golang. It was somewhere. Pretty sure I saw it. But here's the thing: I don't know if their suggested type actually is going to fix the issue. And Milos, thank you for the resub. Hope I'm having a good day. It's okay. I really don't like messing with stuff like this. It's very demotivating. It's very like we just spent an hour on a thing that we could have just not spent an hour on, and we could be working on actual features. Okay, is there anything else in Next.js 13 that I'm missing that we potentially could have upgraded to? Um, yeah, I mean, and ultimately, it's not my TypeScript code; it's the TypeScript code. The TypeScript definitions provided by the library that we're using. Typed links. I like this. Yeah, so if we link to something that isn't valid, it will throw an error. So are we using link anywhere? Are we using an href anywhere? I guess we're not. We actually don't have links anywhere. I don't think we even have links on the homepage. No, we don't have any nested pages, so we wouldn't benefit from this. But this is really cool because if you have multiple pages, then you'll actually get type completion here in terms of the number, like the various paths they could go to. All right, I need to fix FrankerFaceZ. Give me a second. I can't. I just can't. Um, the Jeef. I guess we just need to copy the new CDN URL. And wait, we need to add it to the allow list. The new FrankerFaceZ CDN URL. Wait, it's cdn.frankerfaces.com. That's valid. Um, is the API response different? Oh, is it trying to load the one from Better Twitch TV? Or is that broken? cdn.betterttv.net, cdn.frankerfaces.com. Maybe it's a different bug. Um, well, when it shows up here, it's not. I need I need to see. No, there's not Asset Spark. That's why this is going to take me a second. Because it literally just replaces it with this image. So I have no way of knowing what the original URL was. Um, but I'm going to test it now. Oh, well, there's your problem. Look at this URL: https:// Oh. So did the FrankerFace API change how they are returning their URLs? Like they're including the protocol now instead of not? Because I don't even remember how I'm setting this. They used to not have a protocol. Man, they should have versioned it. They should put that change behind a new API version. Man, okay. Um, because this is actually happening on my back end. Um, yeah, because look at me. I'm putting that there. Well, I need to fix it on my backend because my backend is putting those into the database with a bad URL. Let me fix this really quick. Yeah, I basically have to add logic. If it starts with HTTPS, do nothing. If it doesn't, then um, yeah, wouldn't bother adding the protocol. I think I ran into issues where it tried to do it over HTTP at some point. Um, yeah. What's up, Hikari? Welcome in. Isn't the / the CD in way of adding resources? So the / if it doesn't have a protocol on it, typically it'll just take the protocol of wherever the code is loaded. So if you load an app from localhost, then or from HTTP, then the protocol becomes HTTP. But if the app loads from HTTPS, it becomes HTTPS. Um, and I'm pretty sure I ran into issues before with that. Um, yeah, so like technically you can put an image on your website without the HTTP or the HTTPS, just the //, and the browser will automatically put the protocol in. not saying any words. I'm just trying to figure this out. It should work now. All of the old yeah, welcome in Flex. I too am confused. All of the old messages are broken because they're in the database that way. But you should be able to use FrankerFaceZ emotes now, like that. Beautiful. Oh, did all the drops get resent again? I didn't even realize. Yeah, that'll happen. Let's see. Okay. Um, Let me make sure everything is good. Cool. Uh, where we were before is the new link in Next.js 13 will give you type checking with the path, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything else in Next.js 13 that we can use. Um, and again, like we could write our code this way. I just want the type checking because we could write it without it. Um, yeah, we could write it without it. Mm. Should we write it without it? Should we? All right, let's do a poll. Just like planned. This is the way to go. Yeah, so you have 2 minutes to vote. What should we do? So, if we were to rewrite this without the type checking, ultimately we could refactor it into our own function that does do type checking, and then it very simply just when we're ready to do the response stuff, it calls those methods. But the type checking would be handled by our own function. It wouldn't be like built into the request and response. So that's option one. Option two is we don't touch it until they add the types to Next.js 13. And then option three is we just stop coding because we're an hour and a half in and we haven't gotten anything done. So yeah, looks like most people want me to rewrite it with no type checking. Should be fine. Yeah, and that's basically what we would do, Oscar. Like we would extract the main logic out to have nothing to do with responses. Basically, we make it platform agnostic. So at that point, this code specifically doesn't do anything with responses. It just returns the data, and then we call that function in our handler, and it decides how to respond with it. But the function that would run this would be typed. Yeah, there's already an issue open on their GitHub. All right, let's do it. Logs. It goes in there, and then this becomes this file becomes route. These things can use. It's too late. It's already too late. I'm already stuck in it. But I think at this point, let's all remind ourselves why we're here. I guess for various reasons. You could be watching this because you're entertained, or you want to be entertained. You could be watching this because you're at home alone and you want some company on in the background. You could be trying to learn something from me. Glad to hear it, Shake and Bake. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I mean, we've brought this on ourselves by using something that is beta. There are going to be things that are broken or that don't work as we would like them to, and we kind of just have to deal with that. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna comment this out. We are gonna add the GET request. So export async function get. Hello, friends. We're back. Just had some technical difficulties, but here's the thing. In the entire hour and a half that I was live, I basically got nothing done except for the PRs that we merged, which were nice. But we're back. Let's write some actual code. So if you're just joining us, essentially what we're doing is Starara. Thank you for the prime. Oh yeah, and I'm not live on YouTube anymore. So that was the main issue. There's an issue with my Docker container. Stream just started. Yeah. So we're only live on Twitch now. But we have this API handler we wrote the old way using Next API request and Next API response. We're trying to refactor it using the new way. And what we did was we're trying to define this get function that gets it from the database and then returns it. So we'll do it like this. And we actually do want to wrap this in a try catch because if there was like a database lookup error or something like that, we actually want to handle that in one common spot. For now, I'm just going to console.error it so we don't lose it. But basically, I want a standardized handler because I'm going to have a get and a post method, and they both will have standardized error handling. And then at this point, I can just return next response.json with all that data. And I guess we also um, are potentially going to have our rate limiting logic duplicated. We'll think of how we can refactor this though, because um, when a GET request comes in, we'll get access to the request. Is this an object? What is this? Dot get. Could you add feathers.js to something like this? You could. I think the one thing um, about deploying to like Versal is it's not a long running process. So if you're using feathers specifically for WebSockets, it wouldn't make sense because we're deploying to Versal. But if you're just using the API aspect of it, then you could use feathers inside of here. Yeah. Ultimately, you would just like define your feathers app in a separate file. You could bring your feathers app, bring an instance of it in here, and then query it directly. So yeah, they're compatible. It's really just a matter of, are you using real time or not? Okay. This does the thing, returns the response, and then we've got an error. Let's go ahead and just like write out all of our error handling stuff and decide on how we're gonna refactor this, because technically we still want our error handling right here. And we actually, in this case, do next response .json. Can we pass in the status? Yeah. We'll do something like this. No, something like this. So the status defaults to 500 status code because it's an error, but if it was an error with a custom status code, we overwrite it, and then we pass the status code in here. Like this. Great. Yeah, and then that needs to be E. Great. All right. This is much closer to what I wanted. Now. I don't want to have to copy paste this code for the post request, because this should work for the GET request. Let's actually, so if we save this, is it running? Yeah, it's running. And then if we try to make a request to our API, so API/logs, it gets them back from the database. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can an error as error inside the catch itself? No, I don't know if that's specifically a TypeScript thing. Yeah, the parser doesn't like this. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think there's a way to do it. Okay. That works. Now, what I could do is I could copy paste this whole thing, rename it to post, and then this section right here is what needs to change whenever it's a post request. And that's actually going to be this. So we put this code in here. How do I get access to the request body? We need to read it. Yeah, so this specifically this isn't even, I don't think this is even casting the type. This is us telling TypeScript that we know better and we know what this actually is. I guess it might actually technically be called a casting, but I don't know. Yeah. All right. We need to look into this request thingy because I need to like read the body. I need to get access to the actual body of the request. Let's look at the API reference. Um, request.url. Mm, is it just request.body? It's a readable stream. Get reader. There's got to be a better way. There is, yeah, .json. Oh man, that's even that's even worse. um, okay, and then I think we have to await this. I say that's worse just because if the request body isn't JSON, then this is going to throw an exception. We're catching the exception though, but then we're gonna get like a weird JSON parsing thing. But I guess that doesn't matter. Okay, it's the any type, but we actually can type this. We can say that this is actually going to give us back the travel log request. I do believe. Because that has the API key on it. And then what is this complaining? It's never used. Cool. Now we can just use the body. I think we don't even have to delete API key because when we do the parsing here, we're parsing it into this one, which doesn't have API key, so that should be fine. That gives us back the log. Oh, how am I going to do a revalidate? Res as next response? Is it a next response? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, maybe we won't be able to do that, but we'll come back to that. And then at this point, we can do next response.json. We pass all this in. Good to go. All right. How do we revalidate inside of a handler? On-demand revalidation. I'm tempted to just search their GitHub for issues first because I have a feeling they didn't think about this because, or maybe there's like a static method we can use like next response dot revalidate or next API response. Oh, what's up, Bukhari? Welcome in. Um, I don't have access to that either. Um, okay, how do I get to the GitHub? issues. Do they have a label for beta? Hmm. Route handlers are statically evaluated. Maybe this is what I need. Like, maybe I don't need to revalidate when it's a post request because that's like a mutation. Um, yeah, dynamic. Route handlers are evaluated dynamically when using the request object with the get method. Wait. Okay. Post will make it. So here's the issue. This one, this get, I think is going to be static because it just does a DB lookup. But the issue is we need to invalidate that because we need to look up from the database. Um, Previously, API routes could have been used for use cases like handling form submissions. Route handlers are likely not the solution for these use cases. We will be recommending the use of mutations for this when they are ready. That's what we need. We need a mutation. And it's not ready yet. Router.refresh. That's inside of a component. Um, you can also revalidate segment config option. Um, can I put the revalidation info in the response headers? All right, any Next.js experts or anybody that's worked with beta, if you're listening, listen now. I have refactored this API handler to be a route. And I need to be able to call revalidate, but revalidate does not exist on this response object type. I need to be able to call it from within here. The other issue is I do believe I'm going to need to revalidate this GET request too, because anytime something new is put into the database, this should not be a cached route. I need it to pull from the database again. So yeah, the way that it was done before is it's an API handler. The next API response has a revalidate function that we can just call. I guess there might be a way to like get the current context, and then that has like a revalidate function we can invoke. Um, Check exported functions from Next server. Fetch event. Next request, response, middleware, user agent, URL pattern. Is it request.revalidate or no, it's response.revalidate, isn't it? Yeah. So if we look at the next response, that's that. We've seen this. But that's going to be different than the next API response. I mean, we can look at the internals. We can see how the revalidate function, what the revalidate function does, and see if we can call it from somewhere else. Um, mm, this is from 2022, though. Okay, here's what we can do. We can look into codes. So this is defined in, where do we import it from? Just from Next. Let's try, Oscar. It's a good thing. So we want to do that right here. It is not on there. We need to find the next API response. Where is this thing defined? Yeah, I'm on 13. I'm on the latest. I updated to the latest at the beginning of the stream. I need to know where this is defined, like the actual code for this. These are the types. Improve next. Okay, this could be good. Packages next server lib utils. Next server doesn't exist anymore. Next source server lib utils. It's not letting me search their repo. Like, how can the term revalidate not exist anywhere in that repo? That could, honestly, that might be the way to go, Balanek. Is I mean, I don't know if that's, I don't think that's exactly what you're doing. Is, but if we want to revalidate, we actually have to still use the old way. So we still need a route in the pages folder that we can call from here that would allow us to revalidate. Yeah, I guess that could work. Let's try it, Mark. We're in the repo. Um, Utils node? Is this it? I guess it's just setting some headers, isn't it? Yeah, how do we get the context? How do we get the context in a handler? Um, oh, you found it too. Yeah, this is the one I found. Pre-render revalidate header. Yeah, it's a good point, Jacob. We're learning new things. Um, they mock the request. Huh. So the reason I wanted to look at this is I wanted to see, well, what is it actually doing when we call that function? And it looks like it's just setting some headers on the response. Like this pre-render revalidate header. Which gets defined in here. Yeah, it's mainly because we're using Next.js 13 beta. The handlers in here don't. It's not the same one as the API handlers. Oh no, what happened? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Um. Well, so here's the tricky part. The post request here needs to invalidate a different page, which is why we had to call this, because this a post request here needs to revalidate the home page and also revalidate the get request here. So it's not invalid. It's not invalidating or revalidating. It's not invalidating itself. It's invalidating some other route that got cached. Now, I think the same thing to do is to just create a revalidate route that revalidates the home page that we have to call from the front end. I don't like having to call it from the front end though. How do we test it? We'd have to deploy. Because here we say the headers. What the heck is preview mode ID? Um, and then specifically the URL path. Where is this used? Well, that's the thing. How do you make a request against yourself inside of a Next.js app? I guess I could fetch to localhost. Does that work in a deployed instance? Uh, does that work in here? We can try it. So we still need the pages folder. Um, we still need an API folder. And now we need this. We need to export an async function or async handler like this. Create an issue. Well, the only issue is that I want to make sure that there isn't one. I just don't know what to search for. Okay, so res.revalidate that, and then we'll res.json. Okay. Right? Right? So now that this exists, API revalidate. I guess I can't revalidate that path. Invalid response 200. Here's what we do. We try catch it and we swallow the error. Um, yeah, message okay. So now we need to potentially we need to call this from our handler. Am I following this guide? Yeah, I mean this is what we wanted, but we're not in a handler because we're in the thing, the other thing. Um, but what you're telling me is now over here we can actually just um, fetch API revalidate like this. Will this work? I have no idea. We're gonna restart the app, refresh. No errors so far. We'll try to create a travel log. So we're gonna put it here. Test, test, image. Create. Awesome. Well, at this point, it failed the validation. Nicely done. Yeah. What that means is our body right here is not Not what we expect. Like the thing we're sending to the server. Um, Title, description, image, rating, latitude, longitude, API key. And nothing's leaked so far. Expected number received nan. Oh, because I'm still passing in rec.body. Why did it let me do that? Why did it let me do that? I guess technically it takes in the any type. Okay, so it got created. Um, and I don't see any logs for revalidate. Like the revalidate path never ran. Oh, because we're only doing it if we're in production. Let's try again. Did it error out? I think it errored out, and we're not catching the error. Like, I actually don't believe there's a way to call your own API routes from another handler. Right? Yeah, invalid URL. So this internal call to revalidate isn't working. We could call localhost with a port, but I don't know if that would. I don't know if that's going to work when we're actually deployed. Let's look at the Next.js docs for how they do it. Remove the if statements with a bunch of keystrokes. I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like this? So I'm holding Shift and then up, and then Command slash, which allows me to comment it out. And then code. If I want to move a whole block of code, I can press Alt. So Alt arrow will move that entire block of code. So I moved it out and then I commented it out. So. Um, this also makes. um, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I really. It has the host, but like, we're making a request against ourselves. Well, if you think about that, when we're deployed in production, then that means the literal serverless function would be calling itself via its CD, like its fully qualified domain name rather than like localhost. I don't want to do that. Let's look at the docs on revalidate because maybe there's more stuff on fetch that I'm not familiar with. Um, what? Is there like a $ fetch or something that can call things internally? Okay. I think again I'm gonna stop doing it. So um the fix here would be we need the fully qualified thing here. If I do rec dot even rec dot host isn't a thing. Request dot URL. Basically, we would have to call the API from itself. I don't want to do that. We're gonna rec.headers.host. Yeah, they're not ready for us. they're not ready for what we're trying to do. In the Next.js 13 handler. So we again, we tried it, and I do think we need to go back to just doing what we were doing before. So rename this to logs, and we just have to wait. We just have to wait for the Next.js 13 beta to get all this stuff going, because they've thought about the basic use cases, like just basic API handlers, but they haven't thought about all the other things you want to do inside of it. So let's make sure everything's working again, and then I will work on a config validator. Create. That seems to work. Okay, we're back to where we were. What has changed though? Nothing. Yeah. We're trying to call ourselves because there's a thing that only a API request handler can do with the next API response, which is this little line of code right here. There's no way to extract this out because it has to be running in a API request handler in order to do this. So we tried extracting this one specific piece of code into a API handler that was all it does. But then we had no way of calling that internally. Yeah, if you're really concerned, you can go back and watch because I don't feel like explaining it again. But because basically I guess I'm gonna explain it. We were trying to use the new route handlers in Next.js 13, so the handlers now exist in the app directory. But the issue is those handlers are not API handlers. They're just like regular handlers, so they don't have access to this revalidate thing, which we need access to. Okay. All that to say, let's create a config validator. So we fixed that time zone error because we merged the pull request. We want a config validator. So in the code base, we attempt to access process.env in a couple of locations. We've got the database connection info, we've got the map tile URL, and then we've got the API key. But what I want to do is I want a central place to import all of that configuration rather than directly accessing it from process.env. So that we actually set this exact same thing up over on listed on Friday. But we're going to do the same thing here now. I'm going to create a folder called lib. I'm going to create a file called config.ts. And learn with Jason. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. You caught me at a very frustrating time. So, I'm attempting to learn Next.js 13 beta, and we learned about the new route handlers in Next.js 13. These things. So on the surface, great, but they still have some work to do. But it's cool because now you can have a handler in the app directory that can handle like get, post, etc., which is different than an API function in the pages folder. Because like typically, if you want to handle multiple methods, then you have an API handler, and you have a switch case for like, is it a post, is it a get, and then you handle it. With Next.js 13 beta, you could have a handler export specifically a get function, but it's missing some of the things we were used to having in our API handlers. So we spent 2 hours to decide that it's too early. We're not going to use it yet. Yeah. So the response isn't generic, and then it also doesn't have any ability to do revalidation. So we took a step back. But welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for being here. Everyone should definitely go check out Jay Langsdorff. Because they're great. Oh, we already gave him a shout out. Awesome. Click that link, drop a follow. But what we're doing now is completely separate. We're just creating a config validator, and you can watch me do that from scratch now. So I'm going to use Zod for this, and basically everywhere in my code base, instead of accessing process.env, I want to import this one file. So I can define my config schema in here to be a Zod validator. So I'm going to have a Zod validator that has all the things that we use. Yeah. Is Svelte in Django slow? I think you're asking the wrong questions. Like, slow for what? Or you're not actually accessing, or you're not asking. That's a weird question. You need to qualify it. That's all I'm going to say. You can't ask if something use case is important. Yeah. So determine what are you trying to do with it for us to tell you is it slow or not? Because if you're just building a CRUD app, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. So you can see here I'm accessing process.env.db_url and db name, and basically everywhere I'm accessing an environment variable, I'm throwing an error. That's really cumbersome because I don't want to have that all over my code base. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw db_url and tell it that it's got to be a string. Don't want it to be white space, and it has to be at least length 1. So you must have a db_url. You must have a db name. Same validation here. We'll come back and update this code to use our config in a little bit. I just want to see everywhere where I'm using process.env. Also here, but I think I will need 2 different schemas. We're going to have our server schema and our client schema. So this is going to be our server config schema and then our client config schema. Because there are certain environment variables that we only access on the server, like the database URL. And then there are other environment variables that are accessible from the front end. In this case, the map tile URL. So this, we can add a string validator. But also, in this case, we will just do a URL because Zod has a built-in URL validator. So we want that to... we want the map URL to be a valid URL. And I totally forgot. The DB URL technically is a URL as well. Even though it's a MongoDB connection URL, it can be validated as a URL. It has a protocol and a host and everything else. Yeah, we're using the app directory. Cool. So I have those 2 schemas. Is there anywhere else I'm accessing process.env? Oh, yeah, API key. An API key is only accessible on the server side. So this is going to be a server config. Like this. We could give it a minimum of like, I don't know, 10 characters, something like that. Okay. So we have these 2 validators, but now I want to export parsing of my actual environment so that it runs it through this validator. So I could say something like the server config is going to be server config schema dot parse process.env. And then we do the same thing with the client config. Quick stretch. like this. Process. Cool. So now, if I am missing any one of these in my environment variables, this will throw an error. This parse will throw an error. And like the app just won't start up. So this is what I want. And now anywhere where I'm accessing process.env, I should actually import from this config file instead. So in here, for instance, I would import server config from that, and then now I don't have to do this checking here. And instead of directly accessing process.env, I just access server config. So it's a pretty simple change, but basically now we're validating that config. So if other people will spin this code up or bring down this code base, try to spin it up, it explicitly tells them that they're missing those all in one spot. So we'll also do that over here for the API key. So we don't need that anymore. We'll specifically bring in server config. And then when we're accessing it, we'll do this server config like that. Can server config get leaked to the front end? Possibly. let's try. I don't know if Next.js stops this from. No, actually, no. So I do believe when the client-side code runs, like process.env isn't going to have this. We specifically have to put next public for the client side to get it. So we should be fine, but we can test it. And then now over here, this is a client component. We would do client config like that. I guess we want node env as well. So this is going to be our server config. And I mean, the other cool thing about this is now we get type checking when we're accessing our environment variables, because it's like, hey, we don't have a node env, and then we can actually add it here. And this could be a union type of production or development, and we default to development. How does this work? How does this work? I guess I don't want an array. I think I literally just pass in the union type. I need to go look at some examples. Yeah, we could add test as well. Oh, I know. It's my editor. It's showing it as italic. We need to look at Zod. How do we do a union type? Oh, I guess I could. Do I define the type? I don't want a custom union. Z.literal. That's what we want. So now node env can either be production, development, or test. But what's nice about that is now we also get type completion, because it tells us that, hey, that's going to be one of those three things. And so if we try to compare it to something that it can't be, we're going to get a type error, which is great. That's what we want. All right. Is there anywhere else that I'm using process.env? There's not. So we're good. This is basically all I wanted to do. Now we've consolidated our config loading to a single place, And now if we need new environment variables, we'd need to go to add them to the schema. The one thing we do want to check though is, do these things get leaked to the front end? So let's attempt to import server config in a client component. And actually, I don't need to. Yeah, I don't even need to do this check anymore because the Zod validator is doing that check. So I can even get rid of that. But on the client side, let's attempt to log out the server config and see if these server environment variables leak. They shouldn't. Yeah, so as you can see, on the client side, if we attempt to even bring in the server config, it's like, look, the the DB URL, the DB name, the API key, none of this is specified. It's because it's not exposed to the client side. But if I don't bring that in, I can't even import it. Oof. This makes sense. Like our validator, yeah, we honestly might need to define these in two separate files. Yeah. Okay, so this is a good error to try to fix because basically we don't want to run the server one when it's the client side code. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have our server config and our client config as two separate files, and you should only import the one that you need access to because otherwise it's gonna break. So here in client config, we just export this default. And we only do that. And then in the server config, we export this default. Cool. Now I have to fix all of my imports. Because now we do it like that. And here we specifically only bring in the client config, not the server config. And that looks like that. Cool. I think that should fix it. Next public map tile URL is required. Do I not have that defined? I should have that defined. Import from client config. The name is wrong? What? What? Let me look at my env. Let me make sure I have this actually specified. Yeah, I do. So it is defined here. I wonder if I need to manually pass it in. Like in the client config, we parse this with that. That seems weird to me. The fact that I can't just pass in process.env. Maybe, yeah, so it could be that Next.js explicitly checks to see, are you accessing that property? But it seems like we have to do that. Which is fine. Cool. They're loaded whenever you import the file. So process.env automatically loads env.local just inside of Next.js. So yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Now at this point, if I go into my env.local, and I, for instance, like remove the API key, this will crash the app because it says, hey, API key is required. The app won't even start unless that actually exists there. So we know that that is working. Same thing if I get rid of the map tile URL. Now on the client side, we get that error. The server side shouldn't care about that because it's in the client config. Yeah, server side doesn't care. But if we define it, now the client should run as expected. And thank you, Hunt. Thank you for the hydrate. Yeah, and I think like ultimately, Yumi and Kiss My Pixels. Thank you for the resub. How you doing, beautiful people? We're all right. We're doing our best. We're doing our best. But yeah, Yumi. I mean, the reason that I said what I said is like, uh, it, in programming there are always going to be trade offs, right? So like with Django, you can build stuff really quick because there's a lot of stuff built in. There's also like Django admin, which can like give you an automatic admin dashboard. There's lots of cool stuff already built in at the potential trade-off of like overhead and potentially like running like slightly slower than if you were to just write everything from scratch. But the um, yeah, it's just a trade-off. It's a trade-off. So, and it's really like if you're gonna write it yourself to try to be or try to find something that's more performant, you potentially have to write more code or spend more time in development than using some pre-existing thing. So it's all trade-offs. Yeah, I've used Cloak before, but I've had issues with it. Like if it doesn't, I think it works with env.local. I had issues with it not showing on env. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. I just don't use it at all because I've run into issues with it. Um, okay, let me commit this because this is good. I'm gonna check out a different branch though. Uh, so config validator. What did we change? Yeah, we removed all the manual access to process.env. Good. I'm happy with that. Ooh. Add config validator. We'll merge this in and then we'll do something else. We're done working on this for today. What are we gonna do? I don't know. I don't know. We could play Clash of Code. At least one bit of progress. Yeah, that's why I want to want to at least get this done. Um, we could play Clash of Code. We could come up with some other random project to work on. We could try Solid JS or like Solid Start. We could completely switch gears and try a CSS battle. That could be interesting. Yeah, this is a website that it gives you a challenge and you have to implement it using CSS and like it compares the screenshots. Okay, so that got merged in. Back to the main branch. Pull in those changes. That didn't. Wait, did I close it without merging? man. How can I reopen a pull request? Reopen. Click the button. Click the button is how you do it. Oof. Now I can delete the branch. And now if I pull from main, we have those changes. Good. Good, 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 good. Uh, yeah, Prolific Visual says, has Mozilla ever crashed on you? I watched your Yabai video, made the switch, runs great, but sometimes my Mozilla crashes out of nowhere. Uh, I don't use Yabai. I do use Rectangle. I guess I don't have the icon there, but I use Rectangle for this. Is that what you mean? Um, but I mean, I use Firefox Developer Edition. I don't know if that makes any difference. I have never seen a Firefox crash like in the past, at least the past couple of years. Um, I'd be curious if you're on Windows versus or like on Linux because I am on a Mac. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but okay. What do you all want to do? You all stuck around through me getting nothing done. So what what do you want to do? Just call it out in the chat. What do you feel like working on? City guessing could be fun. Honestly, we should take a break from code at least for a little bit. Um, and then we'll figure out something else to work on. Nothing done is not nothing learned. True. We learned quite a bit, honestly, in terms of the next 13 route handlers. And I mean, we looked at the source code of Next to look at like revalidate and stuff like that. Um, we definitely learned some things today. You can't say we didn't do that. Hmm. But yeah, let's take a quick break. Um, actually, I have something really cool to show you. Something really, really cool. But yeah, let's take a break. Something Pog? Yes. Yes. Some of you are gonna flip out, and it has to do with stickers. Check these out. Um, you just got a teaser. Yeah, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show it to you. Just my audio interface isn't plugged in. Give me a second. Check. Check, check. Hello. Hello? Check, check. Hello. That should be a little bit louder. Uh, what level of savant did someone need to be to figure out GitHub? You don't. You just you can read the docs. It's not it's not it's not rocket science. Just a matter of reading the docs. And I guess you might also be asking about Git, not GitHub. There's actually a really good comic about Git. I will show you from XKCD. This is Git. Oh, this is in the way now. This is Git. It tracks collaborative work on projects through a beautiful distributed graph theory tree model. Cool. How do we use it? No idea. Just memorize these shell commands and type them to sync up. If you get errors, save your work elsewhere, delete the project, and download a fresh copy. That's basically what I do. And I'm a professional developer. People pay me to write code. But that's Git specifically. GitHub is like the hosted version of it. I don't know. Let's talk about these stickers. Who's excited about these stickers? Look at this one though. You may not have noticed, but it's a gold JavaScript. So the sticker is like brushed metal, and then they made it look like gold, with like a yellow tint. So yeah, gold JavaScript. You've got prismatic TypeScript. The same thing but inverse. Yeah, so it basically it has like the if you see like brushed metal, it has like the lines on it. Yeah, and then I've had these ones for a while, but the JS ones, and then the frameworks. Yeah. So we've got Angular, Svelte, Sparkly, and so yeah, these are like called glitter foil instead of these are prismatic. We've got Vue and React. So I'm going to be selling some sticker packs. The plan is you will get these and then one framework. So I was thinking, no jQuery. I was thinking the sticker packs will, you'll get to choose like which framework do you want, and then you get these specifically in a sticker pack. I want to sell these for $10 a piece. They are premium stickers is the thing. I have a feeling that there are a lot of people that are not willing to pay $10 for this sticker pack, but there's the cost to print them, the cost to package them, the cost to ship them. $10 is the price, and you basically would choose like which one of these front end frameworks do you want to get in your sticker pack. Mic is way out of sync. Test. Is it that bad? Angular? Yeah, Angular. All right, let's play City Guesser. You paid 20 for paper ones? Okay. Clap and then you see it. So yeah, I mean, I could add a delay. It's not delayed on this screen. This is a different microphone. This is fine, right? But what we might have to do. Yeah, the other one. Actually, I don't even know where that one is. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about the other cam for now. Yeah, so I use a case on my my laptops to put stickers on. So I have a case like this, so that way if I get tired of the stickers, I just take the case off and get a new one. And that way I don't have a sticky residue on my laptops. Like this is a case. Actually, it's more of a clear case than a black case, but I could just, if I don't like these stickers anymore, I could just pop off the case and I'm good to go. If I want to play with chat, the original version has a multiplayer mode. Let's try it. Let's try it. City guessing. Or do you mean the... Oh, did you add Spain? Is it cityguesser.com? Virtual vacation. This one. Ooh. All right. Do they have a food section? No, I'm hungry. I can't do the... What time is it? I need to eat lunch right now. Let's do multiplayer mode. I'm going to create a room. You have 2 minutes for each... no, let's do 5 minutes for each guess. 10 rounds. My name is CJ. Okay, so if you all want to do some guessing with me, click that link. And so whenever we start the game, we're going to be presented with a... Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. Don't... Never mind. We're going to do a different one. 10 guesses, 20 minutes. Okay. Click this link. Get out of that old link. Click the new link. Streamer and teacher mode. This blurs the correct location on the host screen after guessing. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sure. So we're all going to be dropped into a video of some place in the United States, and you'll have 2 minutes to guess where is that place. Everyone ready? 10 seconds. This one's US only. Yeah, they have others, but we chose US only. Here we go. Yeah, so you have to click the place on the map. Let's see. And wait. I thought I clicked US only. That does not look like the US. This is not the US. Oh, man. Okay, Sendai Station. I don't know where Sendai is. Is it Japan? That's totally the US. I have zero idea where... Wait, why did the video just go black? Wait, you get kicked out? Let's try again. We're going to create a new room. I don't know why it went black. Multiplayer. Oh, in multiplayer, can you not choose? Yeah, you can't choose it to just be the US. Oh, well. Virtual Vacation is having a really hard problem. We're going to play City Guessing, which doesn't have multiplayer mode, but it'll actually work. Okay. Okay. You won't be able to play along with me, but if you want to play, you can click that link. All right. Where are we? Feel free to throw hints in the chat. Don't throw any actual guesses. I don't see anything identifying just yet. Haven't seen a license plate. We are on planet Earth. The Windy City? It does kind of look like Colorado. Could be Midwest of some kind. Using the keyboard to change the volume on Windows. Oh. This bus might tell us. It didn't tell us. Let's look at license plates. Why does no one have a legible license plate? '78 East, North 11. See how close we get to this? Does anybody know? Yeah, like what license plates look like this? It's kind of like green. Is this Minnesota? Another bus. I don't know. I feel like Europe is like pretty distinct just because it's so old. Like the different parts of Europe are so old and have like different kinds of castles. I don't know. Everything in the US looks the same. Mostly. The main differences are like just vegetation, like what kind of trees and plants there are. Yep, I've been to Europe. I have. I've been to Germany, Spain, France, England. I've never been to Brazil. Where is St. Paul? Is it Minnesota? Illinois? Yeah, and I'm going to Amsterdam in June. I don't know what the Balkan countries are, but I don't think so. Oh, yeah, I haven't been to any of these. Come to Romania. Isn't that where Florin lives? Florin Pop? I still can't tell what these license plates are. Bosnia? '205 area code. Inline electric. The app that we're working on is not in a mono repo, no. Okay, does it any you can spoil it. Does anybody have a guess as to where we are? Because I have not seen anything identifying so far. No clue? Arkansas? Let's see. Mm-mm. Thank you, Nagato. Yeah, well, it doesn't like Illinois' IL, which would be Chicago. Atlanta? Is it Georgia? Not Georgia. This is like generic United States. Alabama? It is. It is Alabama. Do you know where it is in Alabama? What's up, Penguin? This is the South. We're in Alabama. I'm guessing whatever the biggest city in Alabama is. Montgomery. We're in Montgomery. It's got to be. How do you spell Montgomery? Birmingham. You got it. Great work, Dr. Sue. All right, let's do another one. Where are we? DC? Washington, DC? Mobile? I don't have my audio plugged in. Delaware Street. Hmm. Yeah, I need to do some. Well, I want to do some walking streams where I don't talk at all. Um, but I feel like it's not as conducive for an IRL stream. It was a 10-minute break. We're technically already on a break, but maybe I'll do that eventually. Saks Furniture. The Wild West. It's the U.S., but where? Ohio? Not Ohio. Yeah. So I'll pause it. I can't zoom in, but I'll pause it the next one because the last one I didn't see a city name. It has a person. James Trimble, Army. Polish pottery. Yeah, the place is called Euro Pottery. Oregon is a state. Yeah. You think this is Oregon? I don't think it's Oregon. British Columbia? It will be in the United States. It could be Nebraska. The cars don't have plates on the front of them, so that's telling us something. BC? Oh yeah, I disabled First City. Where is First City? No, this feels like a uh just like an old small town. I guess this could be like the small old town part of a larger city, but this looks like a small town. Yeah, I used to have like the zoom in enabled on my Mac, but I haven't recently. LA, not Los Angeles, Louisiana? I mean, there's Delaware Street. Let's see. It's not Louisiana. I'm just going to guess all the small states. Mississippi, Alabama, Kansas. It's Kansas. It's Kansas. Where in Kansas? Wichita? It's got to be Wichita, right? Did I spell that right? Okay, spoil it, Acid Spark, because I can't bear it. Oh, it was the CJ Gift Company? I didn't even see that. Wichita? Leavenworth? Did you just Google Euro pottery? Well, it was a Delaware Street, but we figured out we're in Kansas. We're definitely in Kansas. Where is Leavenworth on the map? Ah, look at that. Leavenworth, the port city. Well, it's not even big enough to show on the map. Great. Next one. This kind of feels like Las Vegas. Maybe it's somewhere in Nevada. Let's see if it is Nevada. Not Nevada. Florida? It could be. Yeah, the sky looks like there's water nearby. Let's go with Florida. It's not Florida. Is it California? It's not California either. There's no way this is Texas. Actually, it could be Texas. There's a trolley? I don't think there's any trolleys in Texas. Spain? No, it has to be United States. Oh, it could be like Galveston, not Texas. Denver? This is not Denver. The sky is too bare. You would see, like, I guess depending on what direction you're facing, you may not see mountains. Is it one of the Carolinas? I don't know, but every one of the videos we've seen so far, it feels like it's like 10 years old. Like all the cars look pretty old. North Carolina? South Carolina. Atlantic City, New Jersey. We're near the water, right? There's some life. Those two guys were lifeguards. It's not Florida. It's not California. It could be the Gulf Coast states. So it could be Mississippi, Alabama. Let's try Alabama. Nope. Mississippi. Virginia Beach. That looks like a Virginia license plate. I can't really tell. Yeah. That's it. Where even is Virginia Beach? Virginia Beach, Virginia. Right here. This is where we are. We are on the right coast. Fascinating. All right. There's so many beaches. Next one. I probably could have told from that sign. This feels like Seattle. It definitely feels like West Coast. Yeah, let's go with Seattle. It's not Washington. Oregon. California? It's got to be a coastal city, right? I just want to see if we can guess it before we get any major. It's California. Okay. It could be anywhere, but is it San Francisco? No, it's not. Okay. So it is California. Let's see if the bus gives it away. It doesn't. I mean, I guess it could just be LA. It's not LA. It wouldn't accept SF? San Francisco. Not that. Sacramento. San Diego. San Jose. It's San Jose. Let's just keep watching though to see if we can see anything that says San Jose. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. Next one. The Safeway and the bus. Oh, so you've been to San Jose? You've seen buses like that? I didn't see any identifying markers on the buses. All right, where the heck are we? Does anyone recognize this? Looks like it's maybe like a bus station or a train station. Feel free to throw guesses in the chat. We can spoil it if you know what it is. San Francisco? Seattle? Oh, you live in San Jose. Nice. If we could get a closer look at that sign, it'd be good. Here's a skyline though. Here's City Hall. Does anyone recognize this skyline? Is this Chicago? I don't know most skylines, honestly. I know like New York, Denver. I don't know many skylines. Is I've never seen anywhere in the US with bridges like that. That looks like this. This is interesting. St. Louis, Missouri? Austin, Massachusetts? Oregon? Boston, Texas. Uh, Lawrence, Kansas. It's not Kansas. Hawaii? I guess it could be, huh? Minnesota? Mm-mm. Missouri? Oh, I did MO instead of MI. Okay. But yeah, it's not MO either. Nashville, Tennessee? It is a big river, so is it the Mississippi? Is it Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana? It's not Indiana. I guess it could be Mississippi. No, let's keep watching. I mean, I just want to see some signage because we've only seen landmarks so far. Oh, there might be a state flag hanging from that crane. Is it Iowa? I've never been to Iowa. Where is Iowa? Here. What's the abbreviation for Iowa? I guess we can spell it out. Iowa. It is Iowa. Is it Des Moines? Is it Des Moines? Wait, Des Moines is in Idaho. No, Des Moines is in Iowa. Yeah. Des Moines. You got it. Great work, Netbog. And Minch, who saw it was Iowa. Yeah, it's just like an unwritten rule that you shouldn't Google things. It really depends on how you want to play. Like we could go speed mode where we Google things. So like the moment I see an area code, I'll Google it. All right, we're gonna do cheat mode. Literally anything is legal. So if I see okay, like this, I can't read that. Some Doctor something Episcopal Church. That's a cool building. It's Christmas time. No, Americans don't call it Des Moines. Des Moines. They call it Des Moines or Des Moines. Oh wait, I missed it. Oh yeah, I guess that's one way to cheat. Is if you click this button, it'll take you to YouTube and tell you the title of the video. All right, we need to get the name of that church. I missed it. I can't. St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. Um, there's a lot of different St. Andrews. I don't. Well, we could look at images though. Which one is it? I have no idea. We gotta keep looking. Jackson, Mississippi. Good guess. um, did you find it using St. Andrew's Episcopal? Congress Street. Oh, so that mansion that they showed was the governor's. Interesting. Okay, next one. Again, cheat mode. Um, KT Nails on the Avenue. We need to find like a unique business to search for. So RB Convenience. I've never heard of that. That's it. There's only one. Where is it? Rehoboth Beach, Delaware? There it is. Never in my life. That's it. Great work. They had really good SEO because they're literally the only place with that name. Yeah, cheat mode. Cheat mode. All right, we'll do one more cheat mode and then Maybe one regular mode after that. With plants like these, it feels like Florida, but you never know. It's Myrtle Beach, Florida. Cool. Wait, where's Myrtle Beach? Is it not in Florida? South Carolina? Well, if I would have known that. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Okay. All right. No cheating on this next one. Ooh. Looks like we're at some kind of campus. He's pretty, yeah. I mean, honestly, you typically only see architecture like this, like in Europe. Don't really see it in the U.S. as much. This has to be like a Catholic university or something like that, or a Christian university. Could be an Ivy League school, yeah. It just looks very cathedral-esque. Looks like Hogwarts, honestly. Boston, Texas? Jonathan Edwards College. Jonathan Edwards College. Is this in New Jersey? No. Anybody know where? Don't Google it. Don't Google it. But do you know where Jonathan Edwards College is? Is it Chicago? Resist the Googling. Oh, is it New York? That looks like a New York license plate to me. I guess that's why I thought it could be New Jersey. But it's here's the thing. It's probably just an Ivy League school in this part of the world where someone commuted from New York. So, uh, not Massachusetts. It's not New Jersey. Connecticut? It is Connecticut. It is New Haven. Fascinating. Is this Yale? Is this what Yale looks like? Fascinating. All right, one more. No cheating. No cheating. Yeah. Um, I can't tell. I think this is probably California. All right, we'll do food, but I'm hungry right now, so I need to get some lunch. Um, I guess we just guess San Francisco. So it is California. Los Angeles. It's Los Angeles. Great. Great work, everyone. All right, let's do one round of food guessing, but if it's appetizing, I'm gonna immediately exit out because I'm hungry right now. I'm gonna guess Germany. Nice. Just from the photo. Uh, Rebecca. No, I mean I saw mayonnaise on French fries, so I knew at least that was German, and then uh, sausage. Germans like sausage. Uh, Garlic mayo, yeah. Oh, is that a raclette? Look at that. Raclette cheese, you scrape it off. Nice one. All right, my mouth is watering. All right, one more. One more. All right. Okay, there is raw meat on the screen if that's triggering for anyone. Are we in Mexico? I don't. Maybe Cuba, Morocco. Is it Cuba? Let's see. Yeah, it is. Good guess. Next one. I think Cuba would. Isn't Cuba? I forget what it's called, but it's a um, U.S. thing. Or no, I guess no. Puerto Rico is that. I don't know. Communism? No, that's not the word I was thinking. um, it's part of the U.S., but not a U.S. state. But no, I was wrong. That I was thinking of Puerto Rico, not Cuba. Territory? Yeah, U.S. territory, something like that. All right. Yeah, it seems like we're in Asia somewhere, but it could be a red herring because one time we were in, I think it was like, it ended up being New Zealand, but it was like an Asian market. Territory, I think, is the right word. All right. Do we want to throw out any guesses? I mean, there's not really anything identifying here, but okay, that's identifying. Is that calamari? I guess it's not. I mean, they eat calamari in a lot of different places, like squid. South Korea, Vietnam. Let's try Vietnam. No, Korea. Nope. Thailand. It's Thailand. Again, this would appear to be ribs or like a brisket. Pork belly? Oh. Some prawns, shrimp, lobster. It's in English, jumbo lobster. Oh yeah, it's still raw because they're gonna grill it. They're grilling it now, so yeah, it's like half boiled and then grilled. The Philippines? Let's guess the Philippines. Jamaica? No. That seems dangerous. Like it's fun to look at, but that could have caught some stuff on fire just now. Uh, now you have no eyebrows. Yeah, is it Taiwan? Singapore? Is it Thailand again? It is Thailand again. One more. I don't have any water to drink. I probably need to go get some. Mexico, Colombia, Mariscos, bendición de Dios. Colombia, Mexico. What's up? Stop eating my my sesame cakes. Welcome in. Brazil? Chile? We're just guessing all of South America now. Guatemala? It's probably Guatemala. It's not Guatemala. It is ceviche, right? Yeah. That looks that. That's not a country though. That's a dish, right? What's up, Rachel? Welcome in. Oh, is ceviche actually a country? It's not, right? Peru, Argentina. Yeah, yeah. I think we already guessed Cuba, didn't we? El Salvador. At this point, we just it is El Salvador. I was just saying we have to go through all the South American countries. Yeah, I'm not sure, Granik. Does CM Griffin have a schedule? I feel like he's just live all the time. It's like live every day. Is anybody in his Discord? Um, Here's the thing. He didn't go live last Tuesday. Maybe he takes Tuesdays off. Well, at least last Tuesday he didn't go live, but the Tuesday before that he did. I don't know. I don't know. I would check his Discord. Probably post in there. All right. Where is this? What is that language on their apron? I'm gonna have to go eat after this. I'm starting. Greece? No. Slovakia? No. Czech? Czech? How do you spell Czech? Czechs? Czech? Czech? Czech Republic? Check, please. Check. CZECK. ECH. Serbia? Czechia. Yeah, like nice meat skewers. Mm-mm. Maybe this is the name of the festival or event that they're at. Or it could be the name of whatever vendor they are. Poland? Nope. Yeah, true. It could be a food festival. Did we already do Hungary? Argentina? Is it Germany? No. Take us to another booth. Can I? Oh, I forgot I could fast forward on these. I totally forgot. Let's fast forward. Let's go to another booth. This is just a bunch of meat at this point. Yeah, cause see, that's like a gyro, a gyro. Oh, is it Ukraine? Yeah, I saw the Cyrillic alphabet. What other countries use the Cyrillic alphabet? I see it here. Well, it's funny that you say that, Dr. Thu, because I watched a documentary on like the origin of tacos al pastor, and it I guess I don't remember it exactly, but it does come from the same culture that does like gyros and euros, like Mediterranean food. Because it's like they slice it off the thing in the same way. I think we already guessed Greece. Belarus? It's Belarus. Fascinating. I wonder if there's anything more identifying about it. Because I guess, I mean, would these be like shawarmas? We guessed every single country. But this does seem like a meat festival. It's fascinating. I don't know why there's just so much meat. Oh, I use potato cakes. Yeah, cross global food connections. Yeah, like it's just so interesting how like yeah, other cultures influence other cultures' cooking styles and stuff, and a lot of times we might think that they were the original culture to create that, but they weren't. They got it from some other culture. All right, I think we're done. I'm starving. I have to go get some food. um, yeah, it'll be the second half of it will be the a VOD here on Twitch, so you can immediately after this twitch.tv/coding garden/videos. This one you'll be able to watch that. But the first half of it, I'm going to be uploading to YouTube because it went down, and I'm going to need to re-upload it and combine it with this one. So, yeah. What am I going to eat? Either leftovers or a frozen meal. Nothing exciting. I mean, that video made me want to go find a food, like some food trucks or like a festival of some kind, but I need to limit my calorie intake. I'm trying to lose weight. All right. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna work on this app again on stream. What I might do is finish it up off stream, and then I will be live when I'm creating the proper tutorial. So I mentioned it earlier, but this Next.js app, um, basically I'm going to be creating a tutorial that shows you how to build this thing from scratch without all of the interruptions and better explanations and stuff like that. But it's becoming not fun to work on it on stream, so I'll potentially finish these things up, and then if I do go live with again, we're building it from scratch, but I'm teaching it as we go. Yeah, so it's a semi course. It's not going to be a paid course. It'll just be videos to upload to YouTube. Yeah. I haven't tested Bing Chat, but seems fine. My opinion on it is Microsoft is using it as a mechanism to increase their market share of Edge and to further violate people's privacies because people are so interested in using ChatGPT style stuff that they're willing to give up more of their data just to use it. So, yeah, spelled weight wrong. I don't know. I don't know who did that. So that's my opinion on it. Other than that, it seems fine. I think that's the general direction most search engines are going. Tune in tomorrow. So if you go check out the schedule, I'm going to be live again tomorrow, and we're going to be doing Clash of Code. It'll be a fun stream. We'll be live to just try to solve problems as fast as possible, and we get to see it. This stream is always fun to do because we get to see a lot of different programming languages. Like I mainly code in JavaScript and TypeScript, but it's fun to see things like in Rust or C# or Java or whatever else people choose to use. And then Friday I'll be live to work on a SvelteKit app, so definitely check that out. Yeah, I guess I mention all of that, Nick, because people potentially don't think about that. Like the moment I wanted to sign up for the waitlist for Bing Chat, and it was like install our mobile app. Set Edge as your default browser. I was like, but you know, it's the nature of these things. And also check me out over on YouTube. I've got a main channel and an archive channel, and follow me on Twitter. I have a mailing list if you want to get go live notifications and updates. Also, if you're interested in getting notifications about this gold JavaScript sticker or this glitter React sticker, or glitter Svelte, or glitter or a prismatic TypeScript sticker. If you're interested in these, sign up for the mailing list because you'll be the first to know when I start doing pre-orders for these stickers. So yeah. And Gaza, if you join our Discord, so that's one last thing. If you join our Discord, feel free to ask a question in the help forum, and we can try to help you out in terms of like how to go about applying for jobs and stuff like that. Okay. That's it. Let's get out of here. Let's go on a raid. If you're a sub, you can use this raid message. If you're not a sub, you can use this raid message. Also, come up with your own raid message, or just say hi wherever we go. Alrighty, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.